Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in the next update for World of Tanks Blitz, we are going to be seeing a huge buff towards heavies. Basically, Wargaming is nerfing calibrated shells. Standard ammunition is losing 2% of its pen, heat shells are losing like 7 or 6% of their pen, and even high explosive is losing a very small like 2%. But at the end of the day, all vehicles that are running calibrated shells are basically going to be seeing nerfs unless you use APCR, going from a 5% pen buff to a 6% pen buff. But generally, most vehicles in the game fire heat, right? I mean, if we click on the T2065, it has heat as premium shells. The Yo has heat as premium shells. If you look at, I would say, the vast majority of tanks, about 80% of them are firing heat as premium. So what that means is that about 80% of tanks are going to be losing effective premium penetration, which is going to allow vehicles like the Tiger II to be quite insane. The Tiger II has very strong frontal protection. The upper and lower plate right now are about 260-ish millimeters thick, and what that means is that if you want to actually cut through the Tiger II, you're going to need at least 270 plus mils to reliably get through it, and that's not even mentioning the fact that you can angle it. Next update, not only is Kali losing pen, but we're also getting a buff to an enhanced armor, going from a 3% increase armor to a 4%. So what that means is that you're actually getting more armor on vehicles like the Tiger II, and vehicles are going to have less pen to cut through it. You can imagine how this is going to allow something like the Tiger II to be ridiculously unstoppable next update. It's already one of the better tier 8s. It has great accuracy for what it is, solid DPM, it looks amazing. And wow, next update, the Tiger II is actually going to be quite insane. So we're going to start this battle by making our way over to the base B overlook, and hopefully we'll be able to do something. I mean, the enemy team doesn't have a whole lot of heavies. They only have a Forest Witch and a Taijite. So we're going to chill right here, and we're not seeing anything just yet. I'm going to capture this base, and then after we've capped it, I'll move up a little bit. We got the 1357, who does get shot. We have both the Forest Witch and the Taijite over there. And we get a nice shell directly into that player already. So that's not a bad start. Now we're going to move all the way up this hill, and we'll see if we can get behind that player. They do have a lot of nasty tank destroyers, which is something I should add. We're going to load a high explosive on the AMX. There you go. Nasty high explosive, taking that player out of the game. That's one thing a lot of people don't realize, is that this tank actually has really good high explosive, and if you're able to penetrate your shells, you can actually deal a huge chunk of damage. Alright, well, we have the CS. Dang it. My shell did not necessarily like me right there, but that's okay. We're going to reload, and 3, 2, 1, boom. Nice 375 into that player. You can see what I mean by the gun is actually quite nice on this tank. I mean, it's very good. Unfortunately, it's not working this exact second, but in general, it is quite the dangerous gun, and if that player decides to poke me... Ooh, that shell is very close. That shell is very close. Alright, well, I'm going to turn, and I'm going to deal with this player. There you go. There's 286. And we have the WZ, who does go right through my armor. That is obviously the downside. Tank destroyers have the ability to butter right through your weak points. However, that tank destroyer did not, as I was able to angle properly. Oh, but our shell also did not go through that WZ, so I guess not the best situation here, but let's aim it on that WZ Zalar plate. There's 370, and a pretty good game. We blocked 1130, we assisted 1700, and we did 2400. It's kind of like the ideal game to drive a heavy in. We didn't really get to frontline against any other heavies all too much, but you can just imagine how next update the armor is going to be so much better. Like, even against standard ammo, you are losing about 2% of your effective standard pen when using, you know, calibrated shells. That means you might lose about 10 millimeters of AP on all of your tanks from tier 8 and above. That's a huge change. That takes a reliable pen to maybe a 50-50 or even a bounce. So that brings us to the next tier 8 to talk about. The IS-6. This vehicle is literally one of the most abundantly available in the game. In fact, it is still available on the tech tree right here. If you literally just go to the tech tree of the Soviet nation, you can click the IS-6 and you can actually buy it right there. It's It's pretty crazy. But the IS-6 is an insanely well-armored tank already. Its upper plate is upwards of 300 millimeters. Its lower plate is close to 250, and it has some of the best side scraping capabilities in Tier 8. Genuinely, the gun that this thing features is crazy. And the armor's crazy. Everything is crazy. I mean, sure, the accuracy is horrible on this vehicle, but the thing about this gun, which is really nice, is the penetration. Right now, it has over 320 mils of heat, which means even after the Kali nerf, this tank is still going to have close to 300 millimeters of premium pen, which is going to be more than enough to butter through any other heavies. And when you pair that with the fact that this tank is also going to have some of the most ridiculous armor next update, yeah, I'd be willing to say the IS-6 is going to be quite unstoppable. I really do believe that this is one of the best tanks for you to get your hands on right now. Unfortunately, our team has no clue what they're doing. Our Centurion, Tiger, and Emil 1 are going over towards the heavy flank, and you might think that sounds correct, but the heavy flank on this map is not where you want to drive. It's the worst position of this map. So I guess we'll see what happens here. The enemy team has quite a few heavies as well. They have an IS-6, KV-4, 2 112, so it's possible their team will go over to base A as well. But for now, I'm just going to chill here, and we'll see if anything decides to go over towards this flank of the map. Nope. Okay, we're going to move up. And, oh, no, they do have a 112 here, which means they have both 112s here. Well, we get a nice shell into you. Unfortunately, the Stura Mill is able to cut through me. Not great. I'm going to start backing up. I do have the SU-152 covering me, but at the end of the day, that's just one player. And obviously, I don't want to be in a situation where I have like 15 tanks aiming in on me. Get a nice shell into the IS-6. That's pretty good. They don't have the gun depression to hit me, so we're just going to back off the hill. And there you go. I should be totally fine. Okay, not bad. Not bad. We're up to 870 damage. We haven't bled too much. IS-6 is getting shot every time he pokes, which is obviously pretty good for me. We have the KV-4 right here, and the KV-4 is running the 122. So there you go, nice 430, and he fires a high explosive, which obviously doesn't do much to me. All right, let's put on my adrenaline, see if we can get another shell into the KV-4. 3, 2, 1, and boom, there you go. KV-4 is taken out of the game, which is pretty good. We've already dealt a solid amount of damage. Now we're going to cross over here to where the Glacial is not able to hit me unless he drives over the ridge, which obviously gives me an advantage because the Glacial is going to get shot and tracked. Okay, but we have the M41D on my flank, which is not very good for me. So we're going to angle towards the M41D so they're not able to reliably pen me. Now we're going to back up. Yeah, how'd that play work out for you there, Glacial? Oh, weird. It's almost like YOLOing into the open when I have teammates covering me isn't going to benefit you. Crazy. Well, we've already blocked 700 damage, and we're still pretty healthy. We've done a decent amount of damage ourselves. Well, the M41D bounces me again. I'm not going to waste my repair kit because I don't need to. We're just going to keep moving up. I don't really think the M41D can actually pen me anywhere, if I'm going to be totally honest. I don't think that this tank has a weak point that they're able to cut through. We have the IS-6 right in front of me, and there you go. Nice shot right through the track. You can see the IS-6 bounces right off my lower plate, and again, like, this thing's armor is crazy. It really is. M41D is doing whatever the M40 is going to do. I'm going to chill here, and we're going to see. I want to clear that IS-6. There you go. Now that the IS-6 is gone, I'm not really that worried about this guy. He bounces me once in the rear, and we're going to win on base cap, so it doesn't really matter. There you go. 2,671 damage. We blocked a bit, and again, we had a pretty good game. That light tank tried his hardest to try and take me out of the game, and failed quite miserably. We ended up blocking 1,500. And I mean, you could see we are easily playing super aggressive in this thing, and we're getting bounces right on the front, even in the lower plate from that enemy IS-6. Like, the armor that this thing features is just, it's ridiculous. And as I said, you've got 320 mils of premium pen, so even with the Kali changes, this tank is still going to have some of the best penetration. Finally, that brings us to the M6A2E1. This vehicle has some of the most ridiculous frontal protection in Tier 8. The upper and lower plate are like, I don't know, 270 thick, and with enhanced armor getting buffed, calibrated shells getting nerfed, basically nothing is going to be able to pen the upper or lower plate on this vehicle. And then it also features a gun with 312 APCR, but remember, APCR is getting a buff. So you're going to have like 320 mils of APCR premium on this vehicle next update. That is insane. You're going to have crazy pen, ridiculously strong frontal armor. And you add all that together, and yeah, the M6 is going to be quite the dangerous vehicle as well. So yeah, these are my 3 picks for the tanks that you'll want to keep an eye out for. I mean, the IS-6 you can literally pick up whenever you want. And the M6 experimental, I was just trying to think of like when the last time this vehicle's been sold. I can't remember. You know, it's one of those vehicles that Wargaming doesn't sell too often just because it's one of those niche vehicles, but it's genuinely a really good one. It only has a top speed of like 28-ish, 29 kilometers per hour, which doesn't sound great, but it actually has a pretty decent power-to-weight ratio. So we can see I'm keeping up with vehicles like the Skoda and the BZ-166, even though I may not feature as high of a top speed. But man, does this thing have a nasty gun. And because it's so tall, you have the ability to look over most enemies, which is also quite nice. Now, I don't think that the enemy team is going to be going this way, mainly because why would they? But we'll see. We have the Astron. I mean, at least our team is supporting us, but yeah, it doesn't look like... Oh, never mind. We do have the Prague over here. Well, I'm going to aim it on the Prague. Aiming. Boom. There you go. Nice 420 straight into their vehicle. Pretty good start. We have the Chisei, which we get a bounce from. Nice. Let's reload. And I'm going to put on my Adrenaline. We're going to aim it on the lower plate of the Ferdinand. Let's back up. We have the Chisei again. And I don't want him to hit my turret cheek, so we're going to wiggle my turret back and forth. Keep on wiggling. Ferdinand's going to try and cut through me. There you go. We get a bounce. Remember, that's a Ferdinand. That's, like, not a joke of a vehicle, but we get a bounce. Again, the armor on this thing is quite impressive, and the Ferdinand's obviously going to go for my weak point on the turret, which I don't allow him to, and he bounces. We have the K2, who does pen me, but right now we're in a problematic situation anyway, because we have the Taijite and everything on our flank. We have the Chisei over here. This is just not a great situation to be stuck in, as you can imagine, so we're going to aim it on the K2 if he decides to poke me. Let's see. And boom, there you go. Nice 410. We got the Aufklärungspanzer Panzer Panther. Not really that worried about that player. We are already up to 2023. We've already blocked 1500. I mean, that's all pretty good stuff right there. We're aiming on the rear of the SU-100 because that is the biggest threat, honestly. I don't want a tank destroyer on my side able to shoot me, so taking that player out of the game is probably the best play I can make right now. We're just going to keep chilling here. We got the Aufklärungs, and Lightweight takes him out of the game. K2 is also pretty much cooked, so we're going to turn towards the Chisei at this point. We'll see if I can deal some damage into that player. They miss me completely. It's a nice shell. Got the Taijite over here, and we can see he's going for my turret, so he misses. Yeah, the turret is actually the weak point on this vehicle, but the thing that's funny about it is that if you know how to angle properly, you can just move your turret to the left and to the right, and people are really going to struggle to cut through you. So again, we're just going to do that. We're going to move my turret to the left and to the right. Does manage to cut through me. However, we're going to take the Chisei right out of the game. Good job. And all that's left is the Taijite. We've already dealt 3,400 damage, and I'm just going to roll around the corner here and hope that he goes for my hull rather than the... oh, you know, we went through. And there you go. Goes for my turret again. And bounces. The thing is, the mantlet of this vehicle is incredibly strong. Like, it is one of the most well-armored gun mantlets. It's just that the left and the right are weak points. So, if you're smart, you just turn your gun mantlet into the enemy, and they're not going to be able to pen you reliably. We blocked 1,900 damage, which is more than we had in terms of health. We did 3,800 damage because this gun has crazy good pen and overall capabilities. And there you go. We did 154,000 credits in profit. So, those are my 3 picks. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the future, make sure to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.